Hi there. Welcome to week 25. Gardening Journal 2021, 25-21, 21-25, something like that. Things are going pretty well. Hi, Jane. Oh, we got Jane here. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Let's see, did a bunch of caging last week, as you remember, and planted a bunch of stuff, a bunch of seedlings. They're doing pretty well. The cages all seem to have worked. Feel like we're turning around from the dark days of summer. It's still really hot. It's still very summer. Tomatoes are not producing a whole lot because it's so hot, but I had this problem last year. I think they'll come back. This week, we got to plant some more stuff, both in the seeds in the garage and back into the ground. We're going to plant some carrots outside, some lettuce inside, I think it's a little too early for spinach, even though it tells me this is the week to do it for seedlings inside. I might do that. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, basically plant a bunch of stuff. And then I have one idea that I might make a giant hoop house and put all the containers in it. So we're going to explore that. I don't know if we'll actually do it or not. But yeah, let's start by taking the gardening tour. You ready for a gardening tour, Jane?
Yeah.
You want to say hi, bye-bye? Let's say, let's go.
Bye-bye. Let's go.
Yeah. So, starting over here, we got the soybeans. I planted probably about 10 in here. 1, 2, 3 are going gangbusters. We got 2 more that have sprouted but aren't doing a whole lot yet. And then a bunch that didn't. So, those seeds are a little old. I didn't check the success rate. Probably should have double planted them. I did not, because they're big seeds. So I will plant a few more in here. They're going right out of the cage. I don't know if I should take the cage off or just let them do it. It's kind of like a little makeshift trellis before they reach the trellis. I might just leave it. Loofah number 1. Climbing, climbing, climbing. Climbing up there and into the rafters. But as with all my loofahs, lots of green, but no loofahs. I don't know what's up. Maybe they come later in the season. Maybe I've done something horribly wrong. Maybe they're bad seeds. But I like them anyway because I like how green they are and big. But I wanted some loofahs, just 1 or 2. We'll see what happens.
Climbing up there.
Yeah. Here's the fennel. I harvested the fennel upstairs last week, you may recall. And fennel, I thought they were bulb plants like beets, but they're not really. This is the fennel, maybe a little bit down. So they're not big enough. I mean, they're fine. I ate it. It was delicious. I ate it with some apple and Parmesan. But I wanted these to be bigger. So I don't think these are going to get big enough. I think fennel should be planted in deeper, bigger pots, which I have one right there. And it's doing pretty well. It looks pretty big. So I'm going to let that keep going. I don't know. I haven't seen any videos on YouTube specific to fennel, so I'm not really sure what to do about that. But it is growing. Fennel grows well. That's nice to know. I really like fennel. Over here we have a bunch of new stuff, old stuff. These are new cucumbers. I think cucumbers. Yeah, these are new cucumbers. Probably a bit too much. That needs to get thinned in this pot, but they're growing really well. Same with those. This is the old blueberry, and this is an old grape, but they're both much happier in cages. They are clearly getting eaten all year. There's been substantial growth on all my blueberries and grapes. I don't know what this means because they're going to grow out of their cages really soon. Maybe into a hoop house. That's one of the reasons I'm thinking of making an actual hoop house. Watermelons, looking good. These are the old watermelons. I got a couple watermelons actually back there. This whole area, I think, next year is going to be one big raised bed. Another loofah, same thing, growing really well. Found that trellis going up that way, but no loofahs, but pretty. Over here, that one is not sprouted yet. That is Kitazawa Thai peppers. Thai peppers plants from Kitazawa Seed Company. No sprouts there. This is a new pepper plant, or not new, but older pepper plant. It's doing really well. Needs a bigger cage. Some basils. These are all going great, these basils. That pepper plant's been growing really well. That pepper plant. These are new seedlings. New peppers did not sprout yet. Cucumbers did sprout. More Thai peppers have not sprouted. Thai pepper seedlings, basils, look at that Thai basil, the giant sweet basil. You can see I've been pruning it, but taking the leaves off, or the flowers off. Got about half the plant done, and then over here there's still a ton of flowers. This thing is so fragrant and so intense that I have to scrub my hands whenever I pick off the flowers because it's just so intense. This is the most intense basil I have ever seen, and it's huge. This is like years of basil. It's ridiculous. These are the carrots. They got thinned out last week. Looking pretty good now that they're thinned out. They're getting a little shaded by these basils, so I might rearrange this a little bit. I'm also going to plant more carrots today. Giant Thai basil, giant purple opal basil, little new pepper plant, little new pepper plant. All that is doing pretty well though. The grapes are over here now. I moved them. This is the pepper bed that I did not trim back. It is very green. Nothing got eaten on it, which is weird. I feel like I've netted off enough of the stuff they really like that the deer did not come over and eat the stuff they like less, like these peppers. They're doing great. Lots of peppers to harvest in here today. These Thai peppers here, which are my favorite. Just lots of good Thai peppers. More Thai peppers, more Thai peppers. So I'm going to let this keep producing while the other one, which you will recall I did cut back, did not cut that plant back, and it's exploded. But all these other ones I cut back, look, they're all starting up again too. So we're really in prime pepper season. It's pretty nice. Got some nice ones in there. I need to get, you can't really, there we go. Got some nice ones in there. Need to harvest today. Somehow take this whole thing off. I never really thought about how to get into these. We'll figure that out today. These are the new bush beans. They are growing like gangbusters. Are going to burst out of this cage. So that's another reason I'm thinking of a giant hoop house. I would just enclose all of these things. But yeah, these beans are doing great. That's the old beans. I was gonna take that, I think I am still. I was gonna take all these out today and plant carrots in there. But they're coming back. It's kind of a mystery. The deer have chilled out. I've fenced off enough of the stuff they love that they've chilled out. Or maybe it's seasonal. I don't know. But then you'll see right here, there's a little hole in my netting, and they seem to have gotten that plant. So I do believe they are still around. So I'm thinking big hoop house right here. I accidentally overbought on the hoops, and I think I have enough to make like a big 6x10 hoop house right there. That would be really awesome. 3 cut back shishito pepper plants are returning. Yeah, I just chopped those all the way back because they've been being eaten. They're returning. They're not getting eaten now. Kind of a mystery. Put them in the hoop house. Put them in the hoop house. Here are the in-ground tomatoes, which are, no, let's move up. There we go. They're just huge. It's crazy. And again, there are getting to be some big tomatoes on here. There's some down there. There's one here. Not a lot. I watched another James Prigioni video, and oh my God, that guy's tomatoes produced so many tomatoes, and I felt so inadequate. But I know what to do next year. I will use, look how straggly those tomatoes are up there. Just sad. But I'll use that system, the trellising system, but I will plant them in the ground, and I will fence them in. That's what I'm going to do next year. Next year is going to be tomato apocalypse. Saving all these pots we reclaimed for new stuff. That one we put carrots in today. A lot of these are going to be broccolis and cauliflowers when the seedlings are ready. The last remaining tomato plant in a container down here. It's getting some tomatoes, aromas. I say this every week, and then they're gone before they turn red, or even just close enough to being red that I can harvest them because somebody eats them. So that'll probably happen again. But the plant's growing well, which is nice. And here's my main big successful loofah that is got to be 20 feet now. It is getting a little spotting on some leaves right here, right here. See these 4 leaves, and then it goes back to being healthy for the rest of the plant. And I don't know why that is, and I don't see any loofahs, and it's a little sad. So maybe I'll learn more about growing loofahs in the future, but I do like how big they are. So here we have the 2 grape plants, this one and this one. And they have grown more in the last week in these cages than they've grown all summer. So clearly somebody was eating them. I don't know what. I don't know if it's a squirrel or the deer. They've clearly stopped. It is great to know that I can grow grapes after all. But the problem is that I don't know what to do now that they are bursting out of these pots. I can buy some time if I do my hoop house. So doing this little garden tour is making me more and more convinced I need to make a giant hoop house. But eventually they need to trellis on something besides a pole. I was originally going to put them right here, like that loofah's doing this year. That was gonna be next year, but I don't know. Will deer eat them? Could I protect somehow the first 5 feet, 6 feet with like some fencing and then let them grow up? Or is it squirrels that are eating them? In which case nothing will protect them. It is a dilemma. I need to learn more. Here's the cilantro. I tried to keep it little. It bolted before it developed any cilantro. I'm gonna trim it back. I think cilantro need to be in giant pots. I don't need a lot, but my mother-in-law, who lives over there, eats a lot. So I think we're gonna cut that back and put it in a giant pot today. Old cucumber is sad again. New cucumber, not new. Old cucumber, also sad. New cucumber is happy. Jane, hand. Watermelon, got a nice watermelon there. Another watermelon. These plants, these tomatoes, have vined over across this. That's pretty crazy. Oh, I think that's the loofah coming up from underneath. Oh my God, that's amazing. We're gonna have to do that, fix that. These are done. They failed. I'm gonna cut all these back. Maybe this week, maybe next. Yeah, look at that. I think the squirrels, there's little tomatoes on them. Maybe I could trim them. There's a ton of little cherries on there. Look at that. I don't know. We'll see. There's just no leaves. It's a real mystery. Ooh, there's some good tomatoes over there, though. Some basil, holy basil, Thai basil. Yeah, those Thai basil flowers. You want to pick the flowers? Here we have the main, quote-unquote, main tomatoes. They are still getting gotten at the lower levels. You can see there, some dead branches. This one is just stumped, but we are getting a few tomatoes on the higher branches where the squirrels can no longer get. There's some right there. They're actually ready to pick. Just a couple little yellow ones. A lot of aromas on that one that could be good if they can just make it one more week. And then the basils are doing fine, except for that one. That one's sad. I really liked it down. The basils like it better down there. These pots are too small. They grow nicely. I use them every day for lunch, but not 100% happy with it. Got some celery. It seems to be doing okay. This cucumber made a cucumber. One cucumber. I ate it. It was delicious. It's the only cucumber I succeeded with this year. Such a failure. Kind of a bummer. It's just so hot right now. All this is wilted. I forgot to water up here for a couple days in the heat, which was a terrible mistake. We should do that now. The mint is bouncing back from its cutting. Year-old basil, rosemary, this stuff's all fine. That is really sad. We're gonna water all this right now. Okay, we watered everything up there, cut it back, fixed it up a little bit. Brought this basil down because it was sad, and we're gonna cut it back. And then we're gonna give all of this a good deep water. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I was hoping I could make it, but everything upstairs was really, really dry. So I'm gonna give all this a water today, just to be safe. Couple interesting things here. One, that basil plant was growing straight through its bottom into the dirt. It's pretty crazy. We moved it up to the porch. We're gonna eat that one this week. Two, you can see here that a squirrel or something has been digging, trying to get through the cage to this grape plant. So, pretty sure it's the squirrels trying to eat the grapes, which introduces a whole host of complications for how to protect them after they're breeding in their cages. Hi, Jane. Feeling better? Jane is not happy I took that basil plant up to the porch. Where are you, Jane? But it's okay. There's other ones and pretty bees. Okay, well, I feel like these are now basically my best tomatoes. They're doing a lot better than the ones up on the porch. But I hadn't really been thinning them because I didn't really consider them like they have a chance of being productive. But squirrels are not really eating them anymore. They're growing really well. It's a shame they're not on trellises. It's probably too late to retrofit it. But I figured I should put bigger poles in, thin them out, get them more or less to single vine, spray them down with neem oil, BT oil, water them. So I did all that. There's a couple good tomatoes on there, and I'm hoping by next week we should see something really nice on them. Looks like probably a little bit more thinning over here on the right. But yeah, it's lunchtime, so we'll finish watering, and then we'll do the harvesting after lunch. See you in a bit. Here are the onions and shallots after their month of in the sun. Look, I know it's not a lot, but I only planted 12 of each, and I've never successfully grown them before, so it's something. I'm learning slowly. Here we have last week's seedlings. They're doing pretty well. Cucumbers are a little leggy, even though I've got this nice fan blowing on them. But yeah, everything's looking fine. Broccoli, cauliflower, napa cabbage, cucumbers. We are now going to plant today's seedlings that my farmer's almanac planting calendar tells me I need to plant. So let's do it. Is an awesome planting medium, but I am not buying it anymore in compacted form. My hands are killing me from crushing that stuff back into a powdery form, which is then got wet. Now it's looking really good. So let's get to planting. Okay, we're gonna plant new carrots in this whiskey barrel here. Our big mistake in the summer is how dense we planted them. Way too dense, didn't thin them near enough. We've thinned them 5 times and they're finally growing. So we're gonna refresh this soil with some amendments and some fresh soil and whatnot. Then we're gonna plant the carrots, but we're gonna do them a lot further apart than we did last time. And we will thin them as soon as they start sprouting in a week or 2. Let's do it. Is it ugly? Yes. Will it work? Quite possibly not. Should I have made it tall enough that I could stand in? Yes. But I'm proud of it all the same. Got some stuff I can fix up here on these edges. A couple more clips maybe. But it's 4 o'clock. I think I'm done for the week. We will see how this works. And next week, we'll start putting some other stuff in there. Probably the grapes and whatnot. And I will see you guys next week. You're gonna miss the compost this week because I'm too tired. Take care.